Hey guys, so this is Debarshi again, and today I would like to introduce you guys to Mac OS X. I am doing this video mainly for my cousin because she asked, but I also think that this could be applicable to a lot of people who would like to learn more about OS X and Macs, so I figured that I would create a tutorial introducing people to OS X. So let me just start by clarifying that this is not all of OS X. It's just the basics and how to maneuver around OS X a bit. So if you want more, you might want to read up on it. But I'll just show you guys how to do some basic stuff. And well, then this video will be over. So on top over here, you've got something that a lot of people might think of analogous to a start bar. A start menu in Windows. It's somewhat like that, except it's not exactly the case. So if you see over here, you'll see this Apple icon, and if I click that, you'll see About This Mac, System Preferences, App Store, Recent Items, Force Quit, Sleep, Restart, Shutdown, and Log Out. You'll also see different preferences. So Finder over here is like I'd like to think of it as a default application. Finder is kind of like analogous to Windows's Windows Explorer, if you think about it. Finder is very analogous to Windows Explorer. That's the analogy I'd make here, and it basically runs around the entire system, and this application will be running as long as OS X is up. So there is no way you can exit out of Finder. And you can create a new Finder window, new folder, etc., etc. And you have edit, you have view, go, window, help. So if you see a pattern over here, on Windows, you'll often see on top of each window, you'll see a menu like this. It's like that on a Mac, except the menu is right on top. It's on the it's on the bar, on the top bar. And for some people, that's not exactly a great place to put it because they're so used to Windows. But over time, you get used to it. So on the right side over here, this is my QuickTime thing. I'm not going to click that, otherwise it's going to stop playing this screen recording. Here's some Bluetooth options, like my Beat Solo Wireless. I can connect, open sound preferences. And I also have Wi-Fi. And it also gives me an option to open network preferences if I want to. And I'm going to talk more about system preferences later. That is under system preferences. And AirPlay, I don't have an Apple TV, but if you guys also bought an Apple TV, AirPlay is an interface through which you can connect your computer to Apple TV. And if you don't know what Apple TV is, well, then you don't know what Apple TV is. You can learn about it later. This is the battery indicator. This will only pop up if and only if you have a laptop. Currently, I am using a MacBook Pro with Retina display, 2015 version, and as such, it shows a battery indicator. But had I been using an iMac or something, that battery indicator wouldn't exist. And of course, this is a Mac, and Macs are very energy efficient. And but in case you want better battery life, like anything over the already 9-10 hours that you probably already get, you can open the energy preferences, and you can set different preferences. Like you can say turn the display off. I've got it set after 10 minutes, but you can also change it to 1 hour. You can change it to even less, one minute. But don't do that. That's going to be really annoying because right the minute you step outside to say take a drink, suddenly your computer is off. That's kind of very your display is off, and it's kind of annoying. So you have an option to prevent the computer from sleeping automatically when the display is off. And you have the option to put hard disks to sleep when possible, wake for Wi-Fi network access. And what this means is when your computer is asleep, it's not really doing anything. I mean, it's not really checking Wi-Fi and stuff. It's not like when your cell phone screen is off, because when your cell phone screen is off, typically um, your cell phone wakes up every once in a while for to refresh the apps and refresh its Wi-Fi. It's not like that necessarily on a computer, but you have the option to wake for Wi-Fi network access if necessary. So even when your display is off, your computer will be testing Wi-Fi, and you can enable power nap while plugged into an adapter. So this feature, according to Apple, is basically while sleeping, your Mac can back up using Time Machine and periodically check for new email, calendar, and other iCloud updates. So what Time Machine is like Apple's little device. It's like it's a little network storage device that allows you to back up your Mac and store the backup on a Time Machine. It's a worthy investment, but honestly, most people won't be using it. Um, so you can periodically check new email, calendar, and other iCloud updates. This is something similar to what your smartphone does basically when it's asleep. So yeah, that's great. And I would recommend if you do have a laptop, make sure that you have show battery status in menu bar checked, because I actually find this very useful for me. I don't want to, like, for example, if I have like 1% left of battery in my laptop, and say I had it unchecked and I'm working on an important project or something, well, I may not know and I may not save my important project in time, and suddenly this computer shuts down. I've just lost all of that hard work. So now if I just show my battery status in the menu bar, I can tell when there's 1% or less left, and I'll quickly back up that information and save it to my drive, and then the computer can turn off. And as such, I will not have lost any work. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go on to here. So this is the clock over here. If you click it, it says Monday, December 12, 2016, the full date. You could view it as an analog. Honestly, don't view it as an analog. How can you tell what time it is through this? You can't even read that. So I prefer digital, but that's just me. If you can somehow read an analog clock which has no tick marks or no numbers, that's good for you, but I can't do that. So open date and time preferences. So this is where you can set your date and time. My date and time is set automatically using the UTC, the real-time clock on my computer, I believe. And you have to click this lock in order to make any changes. You have to set it up with a username and password, and you just click your password and say for mine, and it's authenticating, and this lock is now gone, and I can change things. I do want to set it automatically though, so that's good. You can choose your time zone. Let me mention that you don't necessarily have to use the current location. You can also click anywhere you want or somewhere within the same time zone. But I suppose for certain services from Apple, it does help to use your current location. And in the clock bar over here, we see different time options. We can set an analog like that again, or digital. And we can display the time as seconds. So as you can see now, when I click display the time as seconds, it also counts seconds, but it takes up a little bit more real estate for this taskbar, so I don't do that. I don't even need the seconds. I don't know who does. Flash to time separators. So now you see you've got a little time separator flash right there, which is interesting. It's a nice animation. It's kind of cute. Use a 24-hour clock. So this is like military time. It's 23:56 now instead of 11:56. But I wouldn't do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to join the military, but for everyday purposes, I don't want to use military time. Show AM and PM. Definitely. If you're not using military time, that's definitely a good thing. You can show the day of the week. You can even show the date, December 12th. But that, again, is going to take up more real estate. I mean, you can just click it and you'll see the date. Done. Anyways. So, what are these few other things? We've got a spotlight search. You can search for literally anything. So, let me think. Anything. Hello, world. Bam. And it has found files on my computer that is under a project called Hello World. And well, this makes sense because I program things, and Hello World is a common name for a program. This is just a test program, so yeah. So Spotlight Search will help you search through your documents, and I think it may even help you find stuff throughout the internet. I'm not sure, but let's see. Ashley. Oh, you can even search through your contacts. That's nice. How are you? And through your emails, which is interesting. So yeah, Spotlight Search will search anything on your computer. And email. So this little earth, a purple earth thing over here, icon, it's actually Siri, which is interesting because for those of you who've used iPhone, you guys know what Siri is. Siri is also available on a Mac now as of this version, macOS Sierra. So hey Siri, how's it going?
As a clamshell Mac.
As you can see, Siri has some very amusing responses. Questions like, Siri, what day is it?
Oh.
What day is it?
Monday, December 12th, 2016, but only for a few more minutes.
Siri, when should I eat breakfast?
Okay, I found this on the web for when should I eat breakfast.
As you could probably tell, Siri doesn't know the answers to everything, but it will try to search the web for answers it doesn't know. I can even ask it to do calculations. Can you do 33 times 33?
1089.
What is 457 squared?
The answer is 208,849.
And well, it's using something called Wolfram Alpha, some internet service in order to get this calculation. But Siri is really a handy device. I mean, I really like it. What kind of privileges do I have on this computer?
I can't do that here.
And well, if she can't solve a problem, she'll just flat out tell you. Anyways, that's nice. And so here we have a sidebar over here, and it's got different gadgets, kind of like the widgets that Windows 7 used to have. It's a little different, of course, but it's somewhat nice. I don't really use it. You have notifications over here if you need notifications. You can also swipe into it. There's a multi-touch gesture for swiping into it. I don't remember exactly what it was, but there is one. And by the way, your Mac, especially if you have a Mac laptop, your trackpad can be used with multi-touch gestures, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Obviously, it'll be harder for me to show you multi-touch gestures, but yeah. So over here I have this dock. Traditionally, you would see this dock at the bottom, and you would definitely not see it hidden. Right now I've got it set to hide, automatically hide, but you would probably see it like this. And you probably wouldn't have seen the zoom either, but these are all options you can set it to. I personally don't like my dock at the bottom. It's so huge, and that's one of the reasons I like to hide it. And if you hide it and you just hover over it, you'll see that the dock automatically pops up. But I set it to the left because that's what I prefer. You can also set it to the right if that's what you want. It really is up to you. I mean, I'm not going to judge or anything. You can set the magnification of the icons when you hover over them. So as you can see, I set it to minimum magnification, so there's literally none. And then when I set it to maximum, now there's a huge amount of magnification when I hover over each icon. I'm going to just maybe put that in the middle because that looks a little nicer. And voila. And you can choose different effects for minimizing windows like that. And that's called the Genie effect. It's really nice. I prefer it. So what is this exactly? So this is the system preferences. In the system preferences, you have control of your entire system. You can go under general and you'll see the appearance for buttons. You'll see that it's blue, or you can change it to graphite if that's what you want, but I prefer blue. You know, that old aqua feeling. Aqua, I think. Use dark menu in dock. I mean, that's another option if you really like it. I don't tend to like it. You can also automatically hide and show menu bar. This will give you more screen real estate. So if you have a bigger window, a slightly bigger window, you'll be able to show that. Yeah. So this is options for the sidebar. And so what is a scroll bar? A scroll bar is, say I were to get into an application. I'm going to say Google Chrome. And let's go to a website, Facebook. So on Windows, you typically see something on the right, and you'd be able to use it to scroll down. That's called a scroll bar. As you can see right now, as I'm using my multi-touch gestures, my multi-touch trackpad to scroll, you'll see that right here I have access to a scroll bar. I have different options. I can actually just keep on sliding the touch bar down, or I can actually grab the scroll bar, click it, and push up and down. So that's exactly what a scroll bar is, and it's a really nice feature. I like it because unlike Windows, it's not just explicitly there. You know, I love Mac OS 10 because it's very minimalistic. I should not use the word Mac OS 10 though, because it's no longer considered Mac OS 10. It's considered Mac OS. Anyways, so you have the options to set for the scroll bar. Jump to the next page or jump to the spot that's clicked. So if you click the scroll bar, there are different things that could happen. The default web browser. This is something you change based on your preference. Typically, all Macs come with Safari pre-installed and set as to the default web browser. But you can download a third-party web browser like Google Chrome. I prefer Google Chrome. But that's just me, because Google Chrome, I do know, uses a lot of battery, a lot of RAM, and some people don't like that. And I'm typically connected to a charger all the time, so I'm not that worried about that. But other people aren't connected to chargers all the time. And as such, people might prefer Safari or Opera or something like that, something that uses less energy, is a bit more energy efficient. But for me, Google Chrome is set to default because I love Google Chrome. So there are just some different options for your default web browser. You can ask to keep changes when closing documents, close windows when quitting it. Oh, well, this isn't for your web browser, but whatever. You see, even I am taking a little time of getting used to Mac OS 10 fully, because OS 10, to be honest, is like the basic features. You'll know how to do some basic stuff coming in, but you'll just have to. It's kind of like developing a relationship with your girlfriend. You don't just come in knowing everything about your girlfriend. You develop that relationship slowly and slowly, and each day you learn more and you invest more time. And I really like that about OS 10, because OS 10 is so easy to use. The interface is really really simple to get tasks done, but it also has many hidden options. So we have desktop and screensaver, and just to quickly go over this, you can change your desktop over here. I want to change that back because I like the old one. And you can also set your screensaver. And for those of you who don't know, screensavers are basically when your screen is shutting off or something. You can kind of like run little animations or whatnot like that. That looks nice. In fact, I like the flurry, yeah. Anyways, okay, this wasn't meant to be a screensaver choosing class, so yeah. You can also choose from different photos you have. You can have different folders and of pictures. That's really nice. So then you have dock preferences. Again, I showed you that already. Another way to get in, you can just click this little post over here, this stick, and when you click it, you have different options. You have turn hiding off, turn magnification off, position on screen, minimize using a certain effect. You can just use dock preferences, and that'll get you where you want to go. Mission control. So I haven't actually shown you guys this yet. Mission control. So if you take three fingers, and you scroll to the left on your trackpad, you will see this screen. It's really nice. It's got different widgets. This is a calculator, a weather app, a clock, and it's got a calendar. I can add more widgets if I want to, say stickers, and all I gotta do is click the sticky and bam, I'm done. So this is really useful. And all I have to do to get back to a different screen or to the desktop is that. So these are just options for mission control. I wasn't planning this tutorial to be for every single feature in OS 10, so I'm going to stick to that promise. Language and region, you can just change the language of your computer. Security and privacy, that should be obvious. I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's about your accounts on your computer and whatnot, and what you can do to secure them with passwords and stuff. Spotlight, I just showed you that feature actually. So you can select what shows up in search results, and you can also select privacy options. Displays allows you to connect other displays and whatnot, and that's a different. Go to a different tutorial for that. Energy saver, I showed you the energy saver options already. Keyboard, if you have an external OS 10 keyboard or something, a Mac OS keyboard, you can always get that from Apple, and this menu helps you configure that keyboard. Same thing with mouse. I don't have a mouse, but if you have an Apple mouse or any mouse, any wireless mouse or even a regular mouse, you can configure your mouse using that menu. And trackpad allows you to configure the trackpad. So as you can see over here, I really want to show you some stuff. Point and click. Here's some different gestures that we've got. So you can force click with one finger. Now you can't. You can do this on an Air, but you can't do this on like older Mac computers. It simply doesn't exist anymore. Force clicking does not exist anymore. So when I force click on an app like this, I actually get this menu and I get to see go to folder, connect to server, and whatnot. You couldn't do that in older versions of OS 10 or, well, Mac OS. You can secondary click. You can click with two fingers, which is interesting. And you can change the tap to click is another option. I'm not going to go over that. But you can change the amount of click that you need. Is it going to be a firm click, a medium click, or a light click? And how sensitive your trackpad should be to it, and the tracking speed. How quick do you have to? How quick will your trackpad pick up this signal? So it's really amazing that all of that is programmable. So the scroll direction, it's very natural. The essentially this option allows you to allows you to scroll through an app based on the direction that your fingers are moving. You can zoom in or zoom out. So that's pinch with two fingers. Let me demonstrate that real quickly. This is kind of like on an iPad, to be honest. So let's just get an image. We're going to go to images.google.com and say hello world. And we're going to get an image. And we're going to view image. Well, that's a pretty large image already. But say I wanted to scroll down and zoom into the H. That's all you have to do. You just zoom in like that. Nowadays on Windows, they do have multi-touch gestures. Most of them. Most of the computers do. But back in the day, that just wasn't the case. You can smart zoom, double tap with two fingers, which is interesting. Damn. So zoom in, zoom out. And you can rotate with two fingers, which that this won't occur in every single app. It really depends on which app you're in. So if you're in like a Photos app or something for Mac, you can twist the photo through that. But it's a nice feature as well. So there are also more gestures. You can scroll left or right with two fingers, and this is to swipe between pages. You can actually set different options. So you can swipe with three fingers, you can swipe with two or three fingers, and you can configure these actions for different methods, essentially. Well, okay, that's kind of geeky talk right there, but you get what I mean. You can configure it to do different things. So I'm going to go to apple.com. And I'm going to demonstrate this two finger back and front. And so let's just go to Mac, and this is just for the heck of it. Now I'm going to slide to the right. I'm going to slide two fingers to the right on my trackpad. Bam. I'm back to the regular Apple site. One more. I'm back to Google. And then I can slide to the left, these two fingers to the left, and bam. I'm back to the Apple site, and then I'm back to the Mac site, which is really useful. So it's amazing to see that these multi-touch gestures are not just applicable to Mac apps, like Mac standard apps, like Apple standard apps, but it's also applicable to Google Chrome and other third-party software. So this is really nice. You can swipe between full screen apps. So, this is perhaps one of the things I don't like about OS X compared to Windows. You know how on Windows, if you want to make something full screen, like take up the entire screen, all you have to do is like you click a certain button and you enlarge it, and it will run along with other windows. And if you want to switch different windows, you just have something on the taskbar and you click it, and bam, you can switch apps like that. That's not the case on a Mac. You see, on a Mac, well, this is a different thing. But on a Mac, if you wanna go full screen, you're gonna see this green button over here. This wasn't the case not too long ago, but now it's different. On a Mac, if you want to go full screen, you're gonna have to click this green button, and that becomes full screen. But where did everything go? You know, and I sympathize with new Mac users, because for a while this kind of bothered me too. What am I gonna do? You know, like how do I access my other applications? And the thing is, it's actually all just there. All you got to do is you can still see the dock right there. It pops up there, and you can still see the little manager on top, but it just auto hides when your app is on full screen to give that app full real estate. But how do you switch apps? How do you switch apps? So basically, Mac OS X uses this windowing system, which allows you to have multiple desktops running. This is like one desktop that's running. You can swipe back with 3 fingers, and you can then go back to the desktop, or you can swipe forward now and go back to the to Google Chrome or whatever app you're running. And if you just want to get out of that, you can click the green button again, and voila, you're done. And to minimize, all you have to do is press that yellow button, and when it's minimized, you'll see that, as you can see over here, you'll see this dot over here, and these dots emphasize what apps are running and what apps are not. For example, I can tell that since none of these other icons have dots, like Siri doesn't have a dot. Well, Siri doesn't have to have a dot, but Safari, Mail, all these other apps, I can tell that since they don't have a dot, they're not running in the background. Google Chrome, on the other hand, is running in the background, and I can click it, and voila, it's back. So for mission control, this is an interesting feature. If you swipe up with 3 fingers like this, you can see all your apps. This is kind of like in Windows Vista. They used to have all those apps. If you clicked a certain button, then all your apps will be shown in some 3D mode. It's kind of like that, not exactly, but it's a little bit more advanced. But this is kind of like that. And so App Expose is swiped down with 3 fingers. It's literally almost the same. I don't know why they have this, but you also have the option to go into your dashboard or your desktop, you know. But if you want to go into your dashboard without going through all of that, you can actually just do the same thing you did for swiping between full screen apps, because believe it or not, the dashboard works as a full screen application in Mac OS X. It's just something that's not optional. It runs regardless of whether or not you want it to. So you use 3 fingers, swipe to the right, and voila, you're to the dashboard. You use 3 fingers, swipe to the left, and you're back to the desktop. The launch pad, you pinch the thumb and 3 fingers. That's what this is set to. So if you pinch the thumb and 3 fingers, that allows you to have this launch pad over here with all your applications. And now, as you can probably tell, if you go down, you'll see that there's a light and there's a circle next to it. So there's a circle, a light with a circle inside it, and then there's an unfilled circle next to it. That's because there is another page of applications, and in order to get to that page of applications, you do the same thing you do for switching between screens. You take take two fingers actually, and you swipe to the right. And so now you can see my apps, and I can just click one of these, like say photos. And of course, I'm not here to go through the photo app right now. I'm just here to show the operating system, but whatever. So you can show the desktop, spread the thumb and 3 fingers. So look at that gesture over there. So let's say I have a ton of apps running, say, and then I want to show to the desktop. Sorry, that's full screen. You can't do that when you're on full screen. But now, if I just want to peek at the desktop and see what's on it or something, see the files that's on it, all I got to do is take my thumb, take my 3 fingers, and zoom out. Bam. And then in order to get back to where you were, zoom back in. And I think that these are stuff that you might be better off learning on your own. Over time, you really need to practice these things. It doesn't come easily. Set up Bluetooth trackpad. You have an option to do that if you have one of those Apple trackpads that you can buy. So along with displays, energy saver, keyboard, mouse, trackpad, we also have options for printers and scanners. And I've been having a little bit of trouble with this. I'm not going to lie. At home, it's really easy to set up. In college, not so much. I've been trying to set up a wireless printer with my computer, and it's not been going well. I'm a little disappointed in the complexity of this, but for the most part, it's not really a bad interface. I think I might be wrong though. OS X uses something called CUPS, the Common Unix Printing System. It's typically a very robust system for printing information. However, I found it a little complicated to get stuff set up. But that's just me, and this is just one printer I've had trouble with. The other computers, the other printers, it's worked. Like this Epson one right now, it's not really working. The other ones, they've worked in the past at home. I just don't have access to them right now because I'm in my dorm room. Okay. You have sound options, internal speakers, and you also have the option for the microphone. There is a microphone built into your laptop, by the way, and I believe there's one built into an iMac also. So Apple computers come default with microphones, I believe. I might be wrong. Maybe not the Mac Mini. I'm not sure. But yeah, everything else, it should come default with microphones. Startup disk. So this is where I get to select the different disks that I can that are available on your Mac. For most of the new Macs with Retina displays and whatnot, it's going to have one drive, but you can also partition it. So, for example, I run Boot Camp on my computer, and Boot Camp basically is an application that allows me to run Windows while simultaneously having Mac OS X installed on my computer. So it dual boots Windows with OS X. It's really easy, really simple. I'll get to that a little bit more later, since I know most of the people who are using Macs right now and looking at this tutorial probably have migrated from a Windows machine. So iCloud is a service that allows you to store different data on your Mac. You by default, it comes with these things. So iCloud Drive saves photos. You can actually save mail, contacts, calendars, reminders, Safari information, notes. Keychain is basically an application which can store all your passwords. Back to my Mac is like a restore application. Find My Mac is an application that can help you. Well, it's in the name. Find your Mac. It's eponymous. Um, so yeah, for some reason I wonder why my name over here is Julie Hook. It doesn't make any sense. I've been trying to change it for a while. That's just my that's just my Apple uh username for some reason. I have no idea why. Don't ask me, you know. Um, I gotta change that sometime because I am not a girl. But whatever. Internet accounts. So these are the different internet accounts that are available on this computer. Yeah, you have Game Center. I don't actually know what that is. I have a Google. Well, that's obvious because I use Chrome. And there you have an iCloud account, and it's that account I was referring to. My name is definitely not Julie Hook, so I gotta. Hey, let's change that right now. In fact, if I can. Well, it looks like I can't right now. But whatever. I guess I'll get to it later. iCloud is not a necessity. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. Um, so App Store is where you can get all your apps, all new apps and stuff. You can automatically check for updates, download new available, and these are settings that you can configure at your own time. So if I wanted to go to the App Store just to show you around a bit, you just click the App Store button or whatnot, or you can go to Launchpad and find the App Store. There, done. Um, and I think the App Store is a great idea because most Macs, in fact, I think all Macs nowadays, they don't have any CD or DVD drives. You can buy one separately, but it's just another. It's a hassle, just more money spent, and you don't even really need it. If you really need an app, it's available online. Final Cut Pro for $299.99, PDF stuff, and well, yeah, and well, don't take my advice on this because I'm not actually suggesting you do this, but let's be honest, most of you guys probably are just gonna get pirated versions of all of these. But whatever, you get what I mean. The Mac App Store is available if you need it. Network allows you to configure your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Thunderbolt bridge. Thunderbolt is for different peripherals, particularly displays, but it could be other stuff too. So yeah, in case you ever need anything with having problems with your Wi-Fi or anything, this is the menu you need to use. Bluetooth extension sharing, users and group parental controls. Parental controls is particularly good for people who have kids using their Macs, so that's good. Siri, you can configure options for Siri, date and time. I already showed you that. Time Machine, I mentioned that, but this is an intro tutorial. I don't want to really delve too much into the details of what Time Machine really is or does. Accessibility has different options to make it easier to use your computer. Um, Anyways, that's nice. And you also have Java. Java, I believe, comes pre-installed with OS 10. Well, OS 10 has its own version of Java. So the Java control panel opens in a separate window. And I don't really need to talk much about that except that it practically isn't necessary for your computer to run different applications and whatnot, because a lot of applications nowadays, modern day applications, run on Java. So alright, that's neat and all. But what about your day-to-day functions. You're not going to be going through these menus day to day. You're not going to be setting preferences every single day. So what do you do every single day? Well, you could use Safari if you really want to. I don't prefer Safari, but you can use it like any other web browser. As you can see over here, you've got you've got an address bar just like any other web browser. I can just type www.google.com and it will bring up Google. And I've shown you those multi-touch functionalities. You can also add new tabs. Um, so that's a no-brainer. I'm gonna quit Safari. Um, but there are other applications as well. Well, that was obvious. I've been saying dumb stuff. And for those of you who think I'm being really slow and that I'm not really being very eloquent, part of the reason might be because it's, as you can tell, 12:32 a.m. in the morning and I just finished all of my finals. So, well, yeah, I'm kind of tired. Sorry about that. Please pardon me. Um, so this application over here is Mail. Mail allows you to, well, check your email. And as you'll see, it's like a huge postmark right there. Um, Let me check if Mac has one of these things. I doubt it. Maybe it has a magnifier. Nope, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't have a magnify option. I really wanted to magnify my screen so you guys could see a little clearer what I'm doing. I think it'll be evident to you guys anyways. Okay, so my email over here is set with my Gmail account, and a lot of people have been asking me, how do you set an email account with this? It's not actually hard to do. All you got to do is click inside this window, and you'll see Mail over here. This option, this bolded option that says Mail. Click it. It says About Mail, Preferences, Accounts, and you can add account. And all you got to do then, you get this delightful menu. You can add an iCloud account, an Exchange account, a Google account, Yahoo account, AOL, whatnot. Say I want to add a Google account, just continue. And yes, you can have multiple accounts in your same email. You can do that. Enter your email, and then it'll ask you for your password. This is all done through the Google API. Very simple, very easy. You can access almost anything you can on your Google email. Like they even have a chat box over here, which is interesting. I'm wondering why it's all empty though. Maybe I deleted all my chat messages? Might be a good thing because that saves space. Okay, so that's just my email. We're not going to read through that. Yeah, and when you exit out of that, you'll see that Mail might still be running in the background. That's because in Mac OS X, this could be considered a pro or a con, depending on the way you think about it. Apps typically run in the background, especially apps like Mail and apps like Google Chrome. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, I want you to think about this. If you get a new email and the app is running in the background, you'll automatically receive a notification for that. Whereas if it's not running in the background, you won't receive a notification for that, and you'll have to see it when you restart that email. So it really is up to your preference whether or not you want to keep it running in the background like that. I'm just going to hit quit because I don't even use the Mail app, to be honest. I just know how to use it a little bit. I think it's taking a bit. Hey, it quit. Done. I don't know, sometimes it does this. It kind of just like takes a bit to quit. Anyways, so this is my contacts directory. And this is Kathy. She's one of my contacts. Chris, Isabel. Um, so you can search through all of your contacts on your computer and on your accounts like Google. And I have iCloud contacts as well. Well, that's mine. That's me actually. I gotta edit that because my name is not Julie Hook. Let's do that right now. Okay. Done. Yes, finally. Thank you. Changed that after so many years. Um, yeah, my iCloud account has been like that for a while, and I've always wondered why, and I finally changed it, so I feel great. Anyways, so that's your contacts app. You have well, Eclipse is one of the apps I installed, and I'll go over installing a simple application soon. Calendar is like Google Calendar. I don't typically use it. I just import whatever Google Calendar stuff there is, and it automatically syncs with iCal or whatever they call it calendar. Um, and I believe you can do that based on add account. You can just add account. You can add your Google account or whatever, wherever you keep your calendar, and it will automatically import the information from that account, which is really neat. You can even create a new calendar, a work calendar, a home calendar, a schedule, which is really nice. You can sift through different months and whatnot. So calendar is a very handy tool to use. You can also set reminders if you have something, say tomorrow or something, and you can just add to the list and say, go pick up food for Tommy. Whatever. I don't even know who Tommy is, but yeah. And this is something I find very useful, a note-taking app. So a notes app allows me to take notes. I've taken notes in numerous classes, and it's taken a bit of a while to get used to this. At first, I was like, no, this is just Notepad. You can't really format anything, but that's not actually the case. So what you can do is if you're on notes, you can kind of highlight text over here, and you'll see this bar, this white bar over here, and you just click notes and you go through the menus, and you'll see this stuff for font. You can make it bigger, you can under format, and you can bold it. You can even change different styles and whatnot. Superscript, okay, that's kind of weird. I don't know why I'm doing that, but whatever. You get the picture. And you can actually put it. There's a toolbar here. You can hide the toolbar, or you can show the toolbar, and this toolbar will give you different options. So you can hide the sidebar with folders, or you can show it. I prefer showing it. And you can attach videos, sketches, maps, websites, audios. This is really um, a powerful application. It takes a little bit of getting used to, I'm not gonna lie. You can lock your notes, meaning you can secure them basically so other people can't see. It's a very handy application. I mean, I've taken notes on exam reviews, um, articles and whatnot, and well, I'm thinking about transferring to a university, so there's a transfer essay planner. It's a very handy application, and I think I would be very lazy without it. Android Studio is my own app. NetBeans, my own app. Photos is an integrated application. Um, and you can basically edit or see your pictures over here, your photos from your camera and whatnot, your iCloud photo library. I've always wondered if you can connect Google Photos to this. I don't think you can, but I might be wrong. Sorry, I have a few hiccups today. Okay, so that's Photos. And, well, you can also use Messages. That's my friend Benji. I was just doing test messages over here. And I can surf through my contacts and say, couldn't find that. But I can text people, say hi or goodbye and whatnot. I can text numbers. I can text contacts. It's pretty interesting. I'm interested in knowing if I could actually maybe like import my Facebook contacts and use this kind of like as, well, I'm available now. Maybe I could use this as like the Pigeon Internet Messenger as I used on Linux. I'm going to turn myself offline. But yeah, Messages is an app that I might have to play with a little bit more. And then FaceTime. FaceTime is a very popular application on our iPhones and iPads, but now they also have it on Macs. Well, they've been having it on Macs, but whatever. Personally, I like the application, don't really like the camera. The camera is 720p. I prefer a 1080p camera, at least. But it's not that bad. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen 480p of the MacBook, like the actual small 12-inch MacBook. I'm just wondering why I can't get rid of this menu, though. Again, I'm not a Mac OS X Pro either. I just know my way around it for everyday functions and whatnot. And I know how to program, I know how to use the terminal, but that doesn't necessarily mean I know every single feature of OS X. Maybe for my next video, I'm gonna get a magnifier so that I can, wherever I move my mouse, it can magnify the screen in that area. So Apple actually comes with its own sort of suite, Office suite. It's kind of like its own version of Microsoft Office. Not really, but kind of. Some people argue that this is just as good as Office, if not better. And other people are like, no, I want Office. And I will warn you, though, it's a really nice, really, really amazing Office suite. However, oftentimes one of the major issues that I hear about a lot is importing a document from Microsoft Word or exporting a document to Microsoft Word is a very complicated issue, and the formatting just changes for different documents and whatnot because there are different fonts available in Pages that's not actually available in Microsoft Word. So that is another significant issue that hasn't fully been fixed. But Pages is still an optional word processor that you can use if you like it. It'll take a little bit of getting used to. I'm not gonna lie. You can insert page number. You can it has this automatic header thing, but if you look at it, it won't take that long to like understand it because it's very visual, and that's what I really like about Apple products. They're very visual. So if that's what you would like, you can use Pages. And you can also use Numbers. That's like the equivalent of Excel. It comes with Macs nowadays. You can create a new document, create a blank. I don't actually use, I'm not going to lie, I don't actually use these pre-installed apps. Pages and Numbers, or Keynote, which I'm about to show you next. I know how to use them. I mean, if you know how to use Word, it won't take that long to figure out um, how to use these other applications. It's a different user interface, and it'll take a little bit of getting used to. But watch a few tutorials. It won't take that long. Keynote is Apple's version of Microsoft PowerPoint. Basically, it's kind of like a presentation thing, and you can double click to edit. I'm not creating a presentation right now, but it's very visual, and well, yeah, I really appreciate that. Quit Keynote. And then, of course, the infamous iTunes. Everybody has heard of iTunes. If you haven't, you have been living under a rock. Sorry to say. Well, my library contains nothing because I don't actually use iTunes. But, well, I've heard of it. For you, browse Radio Store. So there's a store where you can actually buy music. And, well, if you still buy music, because I do know a lot of people that don't actually buy music, haha, hee hee, you know what I'm pointing at. You can do it through this store. I'm not gonna lie, Apple makes a lot of money off of people, but I will say this though: the quality of the songs that you download is very spectacular. So yeah, that's a plus. So iTunes, there's something I should mention about this in iTunes. If you have a song playing, you can actually use your trackpad, and you can sift through the song. So if it's playing and you want to fast forward, you can just swipe to the right or something using your trackpad, and it will fast forward. This also works in the movie app or something like that. So it's a very handy feature. But again, this is an intro tutorial. I'm not really going to teach you that stuff. System preferences, I've shown you that. QuickTime Player, well, that's what's running right now. I use Microsoft Office for Mac. I'll tell you something. For me, it's a little helpful. I just didn't really have the time to get used to Pages, Numbers, and Keynote. I'm somewhat more familiar with Office, even though it's relatively easy and simple to use Keynote, Pages, and Numbers. I didn't want to go through the hassle of potentially not having documents formatted the way my professor wants it to be formatted or whatnot, because, well, that could get me points off, and in college, points off could mean a really low GPA, and I definitely don't want that. So you click this, and you have your different Microsoft applications: Microsoft Excel, OneNote, Outlook, PowerPoint, and Word. And if you open it up, you'll realize that it looks just basically the same as it would on a Windows computer. A little different, slightly different. The interface is slightly different, but the ribbon still exists. So, nothing to complain of. If you really don't like Keynote, just buy Word. If you're a college student, chances are you can get it for free from your university. So there's really no excuse. You just choose whatever you want to choose. Okay. I wonder if mail just runs when you start it, because for some reason it's showing that my mail is still running. But whatever. Is there anything else I want to show you guys before I show you how to download an app? Okay, so instead of Adobe OS 10, Adobe Reader, OS 10 typically uses something called Preview. and I can open a document, say a PDF file. And Preview not only works on PDF files, it also works on GIF images and whatnot, JPEG. It will work on practically anything. But in this case, let's say a PDF file, and it works just like anything. I can even make notes, like I can highlight stuff if I want to, and I can type. There's an option to type on the paper too, which is interesting. I've never actually done that on a Windows computer. I know you can do that, but I think it requires some other software on Windows. I don't know for sure though, but it's nice to know we have all of this functionality on a Mac. That said, if you do want to get Adobe Reader, I guess I could teach you how to download it right now. So by the way, I use Chrome. If you use Chrome, you're not going to need Flash. Adobe Flash, you're not going to need that. But if you use Safari, you're going to have to download Flash yourself, I believe. I guess I could walk you through doing that. So Adobe Reader, we're going to start with Reader, and I'll do Flash Player in a second. Adobe Reader for Mac, let's just Google that. And you go to the Adobe Reader site. And as you can see, it offers different installers. And click the latest one, 11.0.1, and we proceed to download. Download now. Your download should start shortly. Okay, I'm not going to run through the installation process with you guys because my internet speed is really, really, really slow. As you can see, this 147 megabyte file is taking 22 minutes just to download. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to run you guys through the installation process. But the installation process is extremely simple for both Reader and I think Flash Player too. If you want to get Flash Player, all you got to do is like Flash Player for Mac. Apparently that there is a way to do that. You can enable Adobe Flash Player for Safari, and I don't know if you knew this, but Apple and Adobe don't exactly have a great relationship, especially when it comes to the iPad. And as such, well, you're kind of screwed if you use Adobe products. Well, not really, but whatever. So you can enable it in Safari if you go to Safari and you click Preferences. And there should be an option over here, enable JavaScript and allow plugins. So you have to have Adobe Flash Player downloaded. Where are you? See, even I'm taking a little bit of time getting used to this. You go to Security. And you go to Plugin Settings. Currently, I have Java checked off, but currently I don't have Adobe Reader or Adobe Flash Player installed on my computer. It's installed with Chrome. That's different because Chrome comes with its own version of Flash Player. But if you just want to install it, all you got to do is go to Adobe Flash Player and then read this documentation to enable it in Safari. Flash Player for Mac. All you got to do is select an operating system, select OS X, and the current version that I am running is for Safari. So say I want one for Safari and Firefox, I just click that and you click download now. It'll give you a DMG file just like just like this other one. And all you got to do is click these DMGs when they're done. And I'm going to show you how to install Flash Player because apparently it only takes 2 minutes to download, and I don't want to. I don't want to not show you guys how a DMG works. So a DMG is a DMG file is the equivalent of an exe file on a Windows system. All you've got to do is click it, and when you click it, it's going to bring up a menu. It's going to show these two icons. One of them will be of the program that you want to install, and another will probably be an applications folder. All you've got to do is drag that program's icon into that application folder, and voila, that program is installed. So let me just wait until this finishes. And I'm really sorry that the video took so long. I'm getting better at this over time, but please do take sympathy of the fact that I'm also a college student and I don't necessarily practice videos, YouTubing every single day. I have a busy schedule. This isn't my job, although I am thinking about doing YouTubing more often. But yeah, I have some ideas, but I'm just not there yet. So give me some time, please. So we've got 4, 3 seconds, 2 seconds remaining. 1. Okay, so this is good. And once this is done, I'm just going to click this over here. And it's opening the Flash Player. And now you'll see that I have this install Flash Player option. Apparently it doesn't have a applications window, but so then it's going to show you this security thing. If you've got a new Mac, chances are it's not going to let you install Adobe Flash Player automatically because you downloaded it from the internet. But you can actually use the preferences to allow, you can go to system preferences and tweak your system to allow you to download different apps from the web. So don't warn me when opening applications on this disk image. So just open. So just click I have read and agree to the terms of Flash Player. I'm just going to click install. I'm not telling you my password. And it's installing. There, done. As you can tell, it installs pretty quickly because in my computer, well, it's got fast read-write speed. So allow Adobe to install updates. I would say yes. And we're done. That's a simple installation on OS X. I'm getting Adobe Reader installed, but that's for a different day. It's a similar process basically to what I just showed you. So that's basically it. I mean, this is just an intro tutorial. It doesn't cover everything, but I will say this: it definitely does a good job of covering what's necessary. Anyways, thank you for joining me for this tutorial. And if you have any questions, any suggestions, even any criticisms, just let me know. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. If you don't like it, you can dislike it. I know I have a lot of stuff I need to work on, and I'll get through it. and hopefully I can get through it with you guys. So it's Tuesday, 1 a.m., and this is Debarshi Kundu signing off. Good night.